My revenue has increased. I just had my best month.
At about the 8 months mark, we are on track to just about double our business this year.
And I've gotten more time, more clarity, and more money.
Would you like to scale your marketing agency from 6 to 7 figures without guesswork or working harder? If so, this video is going to change your life. The key is to not work harder, but work smarter. And by the end of this video, you'll have a 6-step process to working smarter in your marketing agency, going from 6 to 7 figures without guesswork, wasted time, or shiny objects. So let's start with a common misconception. Most agency owners think in order for them to scale, they just need more leads. Have you been led to believe this as well? The truth is that you don't need more leads to scale. And of course you need new business coming in, but leads are not the problem. Let's be honest. If leads were your only roadblock, you would have figured it out by now and scaled, right? You're too smart to allow leads to hold you back. Something else is actually holding you back that's not as easy to identify. Now, it may feel as though you're spinning your wheels or working too hard or, not feeling fulfilled by the work. And the work that you're stuck doing is not what you signed up for when you started this business. When you started the business, you wanted to work on long-term strategy and vision. But instead, you're stuck doing client fulfillment work. Or you built a business around your specialty. And as you take on more clients, you have to increase your hours worked to serve them. And as a result, you may feel as though you're burning out. You can handle most areas of the business, but the areas that you can't handle seem to dominate your energy and time. You may be considering getting a job because the business is not working. You might have some feast and famine revenue cycles, relying on referrals, working maybe 12 plus hour days, 5 to 7 days per week, with no real time for kids or relationships. And that's not what you signed up for. And this holds you back from achieving what you truly want, like a team of employees or working in the business when you want to, processes and systems allowing you to effectively delegate work to others without reducing the service quality, having a predictable flow of leads and clients in the business, and having a long-term growth plan that actually works. So I'd like you to imagine this. Today you sign on 2 to 5 times the number of clients as you have right now. Let me ask you, would you be able to serve all of them without your systems breaking? Now, if you hesitate to answer, there's something else holding you back from what you truly desire. Now, I know this because when I began working with clients, this is their reality. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. I'd like you to know about Warren. Warren went from $15,000 per month to $100,000 per month in less than 12 months together. Scott was able to take a whole month off of work without his clients even knowing. And so that way he was able to spend more time with his wife at 2 times the profit margins. Susan was able to stop reinventing the wheel with her creative agency, and she was able to effectively scale her business and double the revenue within 6 months. Mike was working 12 plus hour days, and we were able to carve out more time for him to spend with his family at 4 times the revenue. Melanie was able to really position herself to be more fulfilled by the work and regain control of her agency. Hi, my name is Jesse P. Gilmore. I am the founder of Niche in Control. Now, Niche in Control transforms marketing agency owners from being hustlers to really becoming the CEO and effectively scaling to 7 figures through the leverage for growth method. And in our years of serving marketing agencies, we've helped dozens of marketing agency owners create a business that can sustain and grow without their direct involvement and support them in achieving their dreams. One of our clients, Melanie, felt as though her agency was run by her clients. She was actually thinking about going back to working for a company. To start, we knew that Melanie needed a change of mindset. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about mindset. And in order for you to understand it, you have to understand that there are 3 selves within you. You have a current self, which is really based around the answer to the question, who are you, right? And then you have your future self, like who would you like to become sometime in the future? And then you have a growing self or becoming self. And that's kind of the person that is taking the step away from current self towards your future. And how you view these 3 selves really determines what your mindset is. Now, if you're focused on the current self and the future self, the gap between those is very painful. And the solution is to actually focus on the progress today compared to yesterday. So this is really your becoming self. And that focus is based around gain. Now, we applied these learnings to Melanie and transformed her business. So let's hear about what happened with Melanie's business.
It not only helped me with my business, but it also helped me to settle on what I was really wanting in life, and to get more than anything, I got clarity on what I needed to do with my business, but I also got a lot of clarity in what I didn't want to be doing anymore. You gave me the confidence to not only say no more, but also to, have that confidence to ask for more in my proposals. And a lot of the work that we did together, we started mid-year or even later than mid-year. And so then I compared what I did at the end of 2020 with the end of this year, and it was 3.5 times the revenue just in that short period of time. So there's financial gains for sure. I'm more productive. I'm more focused when I'm working. And that's all of the things that I wanted, because now I have time in my day. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're doing it so that you have time to do the things that you want to do in life, not just at the desk. And I've gotten more time, more clarity, and more money.
Wow, what an awesome transformation that happened within Melanie's business, and really just the enablement of fulfillment by the work. Now we're going to move into Mike, and I'd like to introduce you to Mike and also step number 1. Now, Mike's goals when he started niche and control and working with Leverage for Growth, he really wanted to spend more time with his family. But he was working, 12 plus hour days, 5, 6, 7 days a week with no real time for his family. And so we really focused on time management. And the problem was and is with time management, without control of time, the business controls you. And the harder you work, the more problems you actually create. And when you're not in control, you can't think of vision and growth. So the solution was to regain control of time. And we started to carve out 8 to 10 hours per week for you to work on your business. And here's the formula that we used with Mike. We started off by eliminating tasks that he doesn't need, then automating tasks that are repetitive that are needed, and then delegating work to others. And then the things that can't be eliminated, automated, or delegated, we simplified and condensed. So let's hear from Mike about his experience in the Leverage for Growth program.
We're in a spot that if 3 or 4 new projects came in, I'm not freaking out. It's more like, cool, let's go. Let's do some great work and really help these people, because I know we've got the tools and the processes in place to handle that. And as we get better at working through the process and get used to a certain level of number of clients, when we go up here and up here and up here, we're just continuing to scale and we're not freaking out. I'm seeing tangible results of it in terms of increased revenue, new staff, new types of projects that we're taking on, just really seeing that. And had I not done this, middle of last year, I definitely would not be in the spot where I am right now.
I love hearing from Mike and really making it to where he was able to work the 8-hour days, which allowed him to spend more time with his family, which ultimately is awesome. I was just on a phone call conversation with him, and he just talked about being able to take more vacations and signed a $35,000 client. Now I'd like you to meet Susan, and I'm going to talk about step number 2. So, Susan, in her creative agency, she was struggling, and she was struggling because she was reinventing the wheel with every new client. And she started having it to where a long-standing employee was thinking about leaving from the company. So she started seeking out these agency gurus in the field, but finding that they didn't really provide anything new. They only gave her a bigger hammer instead of providing her with the tools to solve her issues. And how we helped Susan is we really focused on simplifying her service. And the problem is that how to do the work is stuck in people's heads. And why this is really an issue is because you have unpredictable client fulfillment, which leads towards fighting fires, which ultimately leads back towards a lack of control of your time because you're constantly moving towards vision, but then pulled back into the business. Now, the solution is to get everything out of your head and really create predictability within client fulfillment starting. So client fulfillment, then client attraction, client conversion, and really allow the work to be shared as a team. And we mapped out the processes to her company through documentation and standards and visible works in process, so she knew what was going on in each one of them. Developed checklists to make sure things were correct. And the benefits of mapping out these processes are things like further control as a CEO, delegation, predictability. You can run analysis on whether the processes are necessary. You can use automation. And when you start to gain control of the business, you're able to start repackaging your services. So let's hear from Susan and her experience with niche and control.
The energy from my team is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you empower, because they know they can go to a guidebook, there's all these resources. They don't have to figure it out themselves. They can come up with better ideas. It's an amazing thing to listen to them because they thank each other all the time. They talk about how grateful they are to be part of this team because they're not doing all this stuff that's, this repetitive reinventing the wheel over and over again that was dragging them down. So those are the things that I saw right away. I think it's just given me like incredible confidence. And again, that is something like my team feels.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my longest employees, I was just asking him what he thought his future was. And he said, a few months ago, I thought, well, we'll just get through the pandemic and then I'll get another job. And he said, but there's no way I'm going anywhere right now. This is so exciting. So I was like, he's like, he's like, the energy here is incredible.
Wow, what an awesome transformation. And we're going to hear more about Susan's experience again a little bit later on. Now, Larissa in step number 3. So Larissa was undervalued by her clients, and she really needed help creating profitability and finding the right clients. So the problem was she was attracting the wrong clients, and that really undervalued her work. And why that's an issue is if you're not profitable, you're not scalable. And so the solution was better positioning, a perfect blend between the market, product, and competency. And so between all 3 of these in your agency, you can start creating pricing that's based around the value that you bring rather than the cost and the hours it'll take you to produce. And then you can package those services to fit your niche and specialty. And in the eyes of a customer, you can transition from that kind of generalist, like a family doctor, to more of a specialist, like a surgeon. So let's hear about what happened once Larissa adjusted her pricing and repositioned herself with her clients.
In the past, maybe I was just kind of like throwing things at the wall to see like how they would resonate. Whereas now I know my strengths. I feel really confident about them. I am starting to realize the monetary value of them and feeling comfortable saying that to people and not like batting an eyelash. And that is really powerful. It really helped me kind of change the way I think about the services that I offer, as well as starting to think about charging based around value rather than like actual cost to deliver. So all those things together have really helped me present myself more confidently to the prospects that I talk to and get what I deserve, basically.
What an awesome transformation that happened within Larissa, and I'm honored to still be working with Larissa in the agency mastermind. Now I'd like to introduce you to step number 4 and go back to Susan for a second. Now, Susan, regarding client attraction, her problem was it was unpredictable. She didn't really have a predictable process for generating new appointments, new prospect appointments. And why this is an issue is that you're unable to focus on vision. You're not really confident in scaling. And so the solution is to build all 3 legs of the client attraction system and be able to generate, a differentiation in the market by looking at client attraction as a 3-legged stool. So 3-legged stool is held up by 3 legs. If one of the legs is missing, it falls, and the strength of one leg determines the strength of the whole. So client attraction, booking appointments, is literally a 3-legged stool. You got your outbound system, your inbound system, and referral system. So the key is based around creating predictability within client attraction systems. So let's hear from Susan. And once we build out those client attraction systems, let's hear about that transformation.
And during that time, fueled by this desire to really meet clients where they are and provide a lot of satisfaction, we started partnering with a PR firm. And this was also part of us building a pipeline through client attraction systems. It was about aligning with firms that were like ours, but didn't duplicate any services. And we wound up sort of simultaneously, I'm building this pipeline. Jesse, taught me how to prospect using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, how to build a pipeline that we could convert tons of tools, things like Loom video, sending somebody a Loom video. They can watch it at their own pace, but you get to dictate the conversation, right? So it's a one-way, which is perfect for me. So looking at that and saying, like, now I've got all these tools and I'm doing some strategic alignments. And I have now also, as a byproduct of this, in my eyes, because it wasn't something I had ever thought, my people were not empowered. They became really empowered because they got very focused on what they had to deliver. Gone was the 150-page handbook, and now they knew exactly what they had to deliver, and they could just keep honing those skills. Well, we wound up aligning with this group. Well, first I should just say, my business doubled in 6 months. It was astounding, just setting the right goals and having the right intentions. And I think one of the other things that really has been key to working with Jesse is understanding the mindset shift. So you can be doing everything right, but if your energy isn't involved in it in the right way, you're not going to get results. And certainly not on the level of doubling your business in 6 months. I mean, that was insane. I loved it. It was a wild ride. The best result was I started to realize what really made me happy. So what is it that I love to do? And owning a business, especially a business that is doubling, is the best feeling in the world. It's also exhausting, but it's a great exhaustion. It's the best exhaustion. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got to send another proposal or sign another client. This is great. And the energy that it just brought into the organization was incredible. But throughout all of this, it aligned me with a company that is in the same space. They're focused on the built environment, but they are PR. And they asked to merge with us. And it was the best decision I could have ever made. Now, the thing is, I don't own an agency anymore. And it's great. It's great. I own profit. I don't own an agency. But the way it has changed my life, I get to be a part of something bigger than myself. I am working with a team that is absolutely incredible. And ultimately, I'm happy. I'm happier. My goals have changed from making sure I run payroll and who am I going to hire next? And I get to be in the big idea portion of working with a client. And that's the part I love. I love transformation. I love a before and after. I love teaching what I've learned and helping clients build and change their businesses. And this gives me the freedom to do that. It also gives me a really important role in an organization that is growing, that is really smart. And I would never have been attractive to a company like that if we didn't have our shit together. I mean, hope I can say that. But if we didn't have our act together, if we hadn't gone through this process with Jesse, if we hadn't become aligned, if my mind hadn't been opened to the fact that success was going to be so much bigger than I had set my sights on, I was going to be a part of something so much more profound and powerful, I never would have been attractive to the company we merged with, and neither would my team.
What an awesome transformation that happened within Susan over the last 18 months. Now I'd like to introduce you to Warren and step number 5, which is empowering your people. Now, when we started working with Warren, he didn't really have a problem bringing in clients. The problem was based around scale. And everything kind of lived in his head. He had a growing team, but he had an unpredictable training and delegation process. And why this is an issue is that his team depended on him. He couldn't really focus on growth. And so the solution was to empower people and build those people systems, like for client fulfillment, hiring, training, managing people, leadership, people systems, and really standardizing training systems, including like onboarding of employees and the ongoing training for them, career development, succession planning. And this really enabled him to have such radical results. So let's hear what happened with Warren once he built out these processes needed for him to empower his people.
The big ones for us was like building processes and systems to pull stuff out of mine and Charles's heads, and then also be more consistent between the two of us, because we're both pretty different. He's kind of left brain, I'm right brain, I guess, and so the having like building SOPs, charting that path out, having a process for training and developing people, and then even just looking at our whole kind of sales process and our packaging of services, and how do we trim some fat off. I think those systems are very important, and you don't want to lose those key people just because you didn't have a proper plan for their career development. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that was a really big one for us, like the growth from one employee to 7, and then I think it was about maybe 2 contractors to 6 along with that, has obviously come with a big revenue increase. So it's been a wild year, let's just say that.
Wow. What an awesome transformation that happened within Warren's business. And I'm honored to be continually working with him and scaling his agency as he becomes more of a leader of his organization. At this stage, you have transitioned into that role of the CEO. However, many times it's not as easy as it may seem to do it alone. Now, step number 6 is to join the Leverage for Growth Alliance Mastermind. So you can take one of 2 paths. Path number 1, you can go at it alone. You can either take what you've learned today and do it yourself. Now, you may get some results, maybe in a year or 3, but possibly never. It's slower, you'll make more mistakes. You'll learn solely based around that kind of trial and error. There will be opportunities lost due to staying where you are. You'll work harder and achieve less. Feels as though you're kind of walking through quicksand as your agency continues to slow down your progress towards your vision. Or you can choose path number 2, where we can work on scaling your agency together. It's faster, there's less mistakes, there's collective learning and expansion with other marketing agency owners just like you. You start progressing towards achieving your goals now. You'll work smarter, less hours, and achieve more. And it feels like you're in a race car speeding through the finish line with a team supporting your every move. Now, if you're smart and you go with option number 2 and decide to work with us, click the button below, find some time for us to talk. Now, what is the Leverage for Growth Alliance Mastermind? Now, we have an online training program outlines all the concepts and steps needed to bridge the gap between hustler and CEO. It's a boiled down Leverage for Growth into content that is punchy and action oriented, focused really on implementation and collaboration. And it's the best of the best content from each of our Leverage for Growth programs to get you results and into action fast. There are weekly collaboration calls with my team and other mastermind members. The calls are 2 hours long. You can turn up whenever you want. You have 12 months access, and you can watch the recordings. We have a private online community of marketing agency owners. You can collaborate with other members, meet up if you're in the same city, create partnerships and accountability partners with other members as well. And you can ask any questions and receive feedback from other members. As a bonus, you'll get the business growth plan, which is typically reserved for one-on-one clients, and it provides those optics into the growth patterns of your business so that you can make business decisions of packaging, pricing, and hiring based around data. And then you'll have a client success coach that you'll conduct quarterly planning meetings one-on-one and track the growth of your agency throughout the program using that business growth plan. Now, between each of the parts of the mastermind, you'll keep your finger on the pulse of not only what's working today, but what's working all year round. And over the next 5 days, I've set aside time for us to talk and really see if I can help. We'll have a 45-minute call. You can do a Zoom call or a phone call at your decision. And we'll diagnose your current situation, really seeing if our model will work for you specifically, and map out an action plan to get you to $100,000 per month. Now, regardless of whether or not you decide to work with us, it'll be the most valuable 45 minutes that you spend working on your business this year. So if this sounds like you and you want to scale your marketing agency income to over $100,000 per month, then let's talk. Here's what to do. Click the button below, find an open time on the calendar and book your free strategy session. Fill out the application on the last page to complete the booking process, and then show up to the call at the designated time. At this point, you may say, Jesse, that all sounds great, but, and let me emphasize the but, because there's always one of 3 things that are holding you back from moving forward. Number 1 is time. If you're thinking that you don't have enough time to do all of this, this is exactly why we start the process of distilling your time down to only the highest value activities to save you 1 full day each week to work on your business. Number 2 is cost. Everything has a cost, and this program is not free, but there's also a cost associated with staying where you are right now. It's that opportunity cost of not rising to the next level of what you and your agency are capable of. Now, this investment will pay off in multiples, as has done for my clients like Warren and Charles, who 6 times their revenue in 12 months and surpassed that $100,000 mark. And number 3 is the question of, can you do it alone? The truth is you can, and you may still very well get to where you want to go, but what I promise that you'll get here is a proven system to dramatically accelerate the journey there, as well as saving you tens of thousands of dollars in mistakes along the way. Now, imagine if all this did was one of these outcomes. Would it be worth it? Now, if you could work in your business when you wanted to, would it be worth it? If you could reduce the complexity of client fulfillment so that taking on new clients was a lot easier, would it be worth it? If you could finally stop spinning your wheels and had a long-term business growth strategy, would it be worth it? And if you allowed your team to take over whole parts of the company so you could focus on scaling your agency without burning out, would it be worth it? And if you could spend more time with your family without worrying about client satisfaction, would it be worth it? Now, you don't really have anything to lose in completing your application and booking the strategy session. So what you need to do right now is click the button below, find an open time on the calendar and book your free strategy session, filling out that application on the last page to complete the booking process, and just showing up to the call at your designated time.
So I would say that the results have shown themselves in many different ways, as far as just my mental health of being an entrepreneur, having someone to talk to, having some support when things feel like they're kind of coming off track. And I would definitely recommend working with Jesse. He's creative. He's very approachable. He's always going to find, when you're working together, he's always going to find a resource or some next step for that conversation. And so he's also very adaptable. So if you find yourself, maybe you've tried a couple different business coaches, they've got their formats and it just didn't really work for you, didn't feel like it was a personalized fit. Well, I would say definitely give Jesse a chance and have that first conversation with him. Just one conversation and see if you gel, because we've seen the results ourselves, and we couldn't be happier.
Now, my calendar won't always be open, so make sure to book your free strategy session today while I'm still available. Now, life always presents you with opportunities, but it's up to you to take action when the time comes. Without taking action today, nothing will change. Different results will not happen, and life will continue as it had before, or it could even get worse. Now, if you don't want to stay where you are, make sure to click the button below, find an opportunity on the calendar, and book your free strategy session and complete your application on the last page.
Jesse's program is a personal trainer for your business, for your agency business. So if you're trying to start your own marketing agency, you need a trainer. You need a plan, you need goals, so that you can thrive. Get out of your own way and let someone help you to grow your business and scale it quickly, and stop trying to do it yourself.
Now, if you don't want to stay where you are, make sure to click the button below, find an open time on the calendar, and book your free strategy session.
I would recommend working with Jessie, like I said, especially if you're a person like me who is like a more of a creative, more of like an emotional person, more not necessarily disorganized, but like just idea driven, creative, right brained, because I feel like having that balance in Jessie's background and what Jessie has to offer will really complement your strengths and enhance them and help you bring more structure to your business.
Setting up a free strategy session with me or my team is really the only way to get into the Leverage for Growth Alliance program. So if you book a call, please show up for it. I'm a real person. I'll be right behind Zoom just waiting for you to show up, so please show up. And we only allow 10 people into the program each month to make sure that the culture of the group stays by design. Unlike a lot of other programs online, we just don't accept everyone into our program. We could probably make a lot more money by simply letting everyone in, but that's not really what we're going after. We really want to make sure that it's a right fit and that we can actually help you solve your problems. Now, if you decide to move forward with us, here is what to expect when it comes to results and speed. Week number 1, we unlock your mindset to embrace that $100,000 per month and understand how to position you within the agency as it grows to constantly feel fulfilled by the work. Week number 2 is we carve out 8 to 10 hours per week for you to work on your business and set up the ways to start effectively delegating client fulfillment so that you can focus on growth. Week number 3, we discover your core offering and really hone in on ideal clients with a scalable minimum viable solution that increases your profit and prepares you for massive growth. Week number 4, we build out your client attraction systems, really determining the right messaging to attract those high ticket clients and feed the pipeline generating appointments. Week number 5, we create and optimize your client conversion process, otherwise known as sales, to become a predictable method of moving your prospects through your sales process to becoming paying clients. Week 6, we create hiring, training, managing systems to allow you to hire the right people, get them to becoming independent quickly, and then managing and optimizing their performance. And that is just in the first 6 weeks. So who is this for? Marketing agency owners looking to grow their business. You must have an already completed proof of concept, meaning you have 5+ paying clients for your service. And you're generating at least 6 figures in monthly recurring revenue, so over $10,000 per month. You may be a solopreneur with contractors or a team of up to 15, and you really have that desire and committed to being more of a CEO rather than a hustler in your business. And you understand that you must have skin in the game in order for it to work.
You probably don't even know how much you need this. Like, it's insane because you think you know everything until you realize you know nothing. And like everyone comes into entrepreneurship like, oh, I have a great idea. I'm smart, got a good team, got a good business. Everyone likes my product, I'm set. And then you hit this capacity issue where you're like, wait, oh my God, I have to learn how to build something. Oh God, how do I tell people what to do? Like weird problems that you never expect to come across, and you think, oh, if you're paying them, they'll just do the job, right? No, it's not that easy because people get confused with stuff. Instructions are poorly given. There's a lot that goes into this leadership thing that I never thought I'd have to face this in my whole life. I questioned a lot in the beginning, but it's like, trust the process and, keep going. Jessie wants you to do well. So it's just cool to be in a thing where it's not like he's trying to sell. We pivoted a lot in the program unique to my needs, and that was awesome. So I'm really happy with the one-to-one. And then, so after getting the one-to-one stuff and operations started flying, my team got super busy, and I was like, man, it would be cool if they had the same personal development I did. So with a lot of the stuff that Jessie was developing, with my career, time blocking, helping people become more organized, I wanted to bring my team into that because I want them to develop in the same way. And I think the thing that is making it work for us is that I have a team that actually wants to develop. So they were excited to jump into this course, and they're like, I really want to learn. I really want to grow. So having a team like that, plus you know, the consulting that Jesse brings and the knowledge, it's just insane to see it paired together. And like, I really feel like over the months, I've been able to leave my business and focus on growing it rather than being in it.
What? Wait, you're still here? You know what you need to do. Click the button.